Hi, beautifuls. Welcome to my Friday Pick a Card pile. Today we have three crystals as usual. Pile number 1 holds the pyrite here, and pile number 2 is the rhyolite jasper, and pile number 3 is the carnelian. So we have, see if I can hold them, all of them. Number 1 is the pyrite, 2 is rhyolite jasper, and 3 is the carnelian. So I will put the timestamps below in the comments so you can scroll, or you can just scroll till you see me holding it up. So we're going to start with pile number 1, the pyrite. Okay, so, and these are the cards for pile number 1. Okay, so we're starting with where you are coming from. So I see you actually coming from a place here where you have, how I feel this is that you've had a lot of clarity or a lot of maybe aha moments, things that has just aligned and actually come to fruition. Some of you might have manifested what you wanted, but that could have also taken the form of like just clarifying a lot of things for yourself. And where you are right now is more of that. This has actually helped you trust your path more. The first one was manifest. This has helped you trust your path more, and also what it is about right now, it is to working on trusting your intuition and your wisdom. And what I feel here too is that trusting your path, and maybe now not everyone is understanding necessarily what you're going through, or you might feel that because things have aligned so much for you, you can trust yourself. People might not understand that or understand your choices. But your last while, maybe month or so, has shown you, or it could be a longer period as well, has shown you more that no, you know your path, you know what's right for you. So what's coming in here too is a little bit more maybe boundaries as well, and working on that so that you can really secure your trust and your journey. And maybe you are on a more spiritual path now than you have been before. And again, not everyone might understand that. So I feel really strongly here that for you to trust yourself even more. Don't let anything else sway you, and work on those boundaries if you need to establish them better for yourself, so that you can listen to your energy. And I see you going into a space of withdrawal. So this is more energetically, maybe feeling like you want to hermit a little bit, or making your space and time, investing more in yourself and your time, so that you can establish this trust more, and your path, and your maybe your meditation routine, spiritual routine, kind of starting and establishing something like that. And a lot of times when we do that, it's time to kind of go in and reflect, which is talking about reflecting today. Mercury Retrograde starts, and Venus is in retrograde still for another few days. So this is definitely a time to reflect on that. And maybe what's coming in for me, we have the full moon in Cancer on Monday, so that might have to do with relationship. Venus retrograde is definitely about relationship, which is about relationship to yourself. And as I was just saying too, what came through with the boundary setting and all of that, as well as what has been around you, because our closer relationship always reflect on something that where we are energetically ourselves, and what we might need to learn or to look at, what we are repeating. So it's definitely going into a time of introspective time. And then I did a card for what's a good focus for you right now. Oh, well, there we go. That's what I've been talking about, boundaries. Okay, so obviously that was just the universe's way of saying that, yes, telling you again. Okay, so what this is telling me then, obviously, is what I just said. So really focus on setting your boundaries and energetic boundaries. And this can be a hard thing to do, especially if you're not used to it. If you're a giver, you're used to facilitate, you're used to take care of people emotionally, or you're just overwhelmed with daily life and everything that we have to do with that. But the way I see this and the way I work with pretty much all of my clients is that when we are givers, when we're used to that, it can feel selfish to set those boundaries. And our mind, our brain can rationalize that we don't have the time right now. But these cards are really, and the evolution of this too, is really showing you that this is the time. And as I said too, now you have the planetary aspects supporting you in that time, in that way too. And also we are on a mass up leveling scale. There's so many of us where it's like the whole consciousness of this planet is rising and need to be rising. So when you do your inner work, you are the light worker of doing so. And by doing that, you have to set those boundaries and spend time for yourself. And doing that right now, I feel this like strong calling, and I see it with so many of my friends and clients and colleagues and everything, that it's just such a strong calling to do this right now. So make sure that you do invest your time, energy, money into yourself and setting those boundaries. And when I say also investing your energy and time, is that energetically, that's also a mindset of that, yes, I am going to focus on course correcting my mind when my mind go down the rabbit hole of what has been, and that we're expecting that to happen again, when you actually have the power to change your life and change that thought pattern. So that's also something to be really conscious about, where your mind goes. And because of that, I also pulled a card about a little bit more about mindset. And I did that from my animal deck. And it's this beautiful little robin. And this is about you are changing your mindset. It is coming and it requires some work, but the change is here. So this is about really diving into it. And this is also a confirmation card that you are doing it already. So don't stop now. Keep going, because I feel like this, the retrograde as well, is just going to help show that even more and help you establish a different foundation for yourself so that you can be more in your energy and follow your intuition and your soul purpose more so by doing this, and obviously setting those boundaries so that that's your new foundation. That was it for card for pile number 1. If this resonates with you, I would love to hear. Put that in the comments below, or if you want to share this with people that you might think needs to hear this and pick a pile obviously for themselves, please do so. Also, I will mention that if you haven't heard, I have a course, a 6-week course starting February 1st called Healing Glow. And this is where we're going to go into ancestral healing, generational healing around relationships, what keeps kind of happening in your energy and around you, because it has always a core in yourself. And when you work with me, we go deep and we go to the ancestral part and we go to where you have picked up these patterns so that you can heal it at the core. And then we're going to move that into manifestation and also unraveling more of your soul purpose and your gifts and how you can access that. And when you work with me, you always get intuitive tools to do this on your own, as well as having me holding the space in the container to do this. So this is a very transformative program. So check that out. I'll put that in the comments below as well. It's on my website, sanctuarywithinyou.com/healing. So that's for you, pile number 1. And now we're moving on to pile number 2, which is this Rhyolite Jasper. Move this over here. All right, pulled from a few different decks for you guys. So this is pile number 2. So what we have here is, let's see here, let's start with these ones first. Okay, so this time I did the evolution of what you're moving through. So I see you coming from a feeling, I would say. I have a feeling that you've had a feeling of being more creative. Maybe that has to do with the holidays just came up too, of just like decorating and stuff. But it can also be a feeling that it is time for you. You've been feeling a pull, maybe dabbling in some things that is kind of like lighten you up in terms of hobbies, something that gets you creative, or it's a feeling that, okay, it is time for me to open up more towards my unique gifts. So this is kind of where you're coming from. And then moving into right now is the versatility. And this is, for me, always about being flexible. And I love how the moon stands out for me this time too here. So let me feel into that too. So this card and how I feel around this is about that right now things might not look exactly, or might not be what you have been manifesting and what you wanted to pull in. And maybe also the start of the new year is so much, you know, hype of like, yes, we get this new chance and everything feels fresh. But then the way everything kind of is, and in the collective and in the planets, it's just like, it's taking a little bit longer. So maybe right now you feel like, okay, I haven't quite gotten started on the things that I wanted to, or something has come up where I have to like deal with. And I feel that for some of you for sure, of just like life, and you just kind of get wrapped up in that. So you might have been feeling that you've been like doing a little detour, we're off what you intentionally or set your intentions for in, you know, December, or even at the beginning of the year there. And then what you're moving into with this is a time for ancestors. And this, let me feel into this. So this is 2 energies for me. There is one, our ancestors are always here to help us and to facilitate. They're rooting for us to do and to break those patterns that they couldn't do. Like we always grow and develop, and every generation does, because we always, you know, go higher and higher, so to speak. But it's also, and this is in the collective of so many people that I'm working with right now too, and light workers, whether you're working with healing gifts yourself or anything like that, or if you're simply doing your part by doing your healing within your ancestral line and by tapping more into why are you here. So first I wanted to say that our ancestors are always here to help us. You who know me a little bit more know that I channel my passed over family, and they've helped me tremendously in opening up more and coming, you know, giving me advice, downloads, all of this. So our ancestors are always here with us and rooting for us. And with that moves into that I see them calling you to go down this route a little bit more, to look into what patterns are you repeating. And this often comes into my channel just because this is what I do so much. I help people really get to the core of what is it that you keep repeating in your life, and where is that coming from, and what the limitations that hold for you. So let me feel in, because I feel this a little bit more. There is something to do. I just felt too, they were telling me like, about self-care as well, that this is important for you to moving into now. And also Mercury just went into retrograde today. Venus is still in retrograde. So this is also moving into now a time where you need to take care of yourself. So this is about, I feel like if you haven't already, starting to go into, there's like, I can see several like ancestors being here like, hey, it's kind of time to do this. Like, please reflect a little bit more on what you have in your life and what you want to shift in your life to get to that core. And then self-care. The cat came in for me too, which is all about self-care. Let me see if there's any more messages. No, we're going to move into, I pulled a card, this one for from this deck, for what to focus right now, because this is more what you're actually moving into. And what to focus on right now is patience. If you've tried forever to shift a problem, there's probably something to learn from embracing it. May I let this be for now. Help me relax and trust every need will be met, and often change soon follows. Okay, so that ties in really beautiful to the retrograde, obviously too, that there's some patience here. And I feel for you too, like some of you, at least some of you might have done this for a longer time, but I feel some of you listening to this is a little bit newer, maybe concept for you. It's 12:12 here now. Newer concept for you. So starting to look into that, and as you kind of unravel that within you, there's some patience and obviously also self-care and compassion with that. I believe that any healing to be done needs to be done with compassion for ourselves, where we have been, what has happened, and where we are right now, because nothing is never too late and nothing was ever wasted, because there's wisdom in every single step of our life. That wanted to come out there really strongly as well. So the last card I pulled I pulled for more of a mindset to see what you can focus on there. And it's this this little bird. It's a different kind of bird. I got a bird in the first card pull too, or a pile too. But this is a confirmation that, right, and this ties in for you, like, that are starting to unravel this within yourself. This is a beautiful confirmation that you are doing your work and you are walking your path. So it literally says, like, this is a confirmation for you. So feel strong in what the path that you are on right now and what you have maybe started, and knowing that, you know, this takes time. When we go deeper into healing work, it takes time, and it needs to take time as well, especially when we go this deep. I do ancestral work with most people, most of my clients. And when we go deep to the core of what is limiting us and what has been in our life, sometimes and oftentimes it's a lifetime that we're unraveling. It's a lifetime that we are understanding more and more, or for some people might not be a lifetime, might have been like a big event, but for most it's like something that has to do with something that's been with us for most of our life. So it simply requires patience and self-love. So please be patient with yourself as you unravel this. And with that said, I also want to say that if you want guidance, obviously, in that, my program or my course Heal and Glow starts February 1st. And this is where we do go into ancestral healing, especially, and seeing the core patterns in that, helping setting boundaries, energetic boundaries, so that you can have more space for yourself. And then moving into more of opening up what is your soul purpose, how does that manifest, and what is your gifts. So I'm going to put the link for that in the comment. So that's there for you if you want any resources of that. That was it, I feel like, for pile number 2. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear what you feel hearing this. So comment below, share with friends or anyone else that you feel like might want some guidance or need to hear this as well. So thank you so much. That was pile number 2. And pile number 3 is let's see here, carnelian. Pile number 3, the carnelian. All right, so for you, let's see here. We have a few cards. This is your cards, by the way, looks like this. And okay, so we're going to start with the first three. A bit of a timeline is what I pulled this time. So I see you coming into, like, you've kind of been through a space. I feel this can be fairly recently, but also maybe for a little while, but some of you might have just been for the last few days. It's the Strength card. The moon is really standing out here as well. And we have a full moon in Cancer on Monday, which can be really helpful for you to look into where does this land, along with Venus retrograde now too, and Cancer energy. It can be about relationships for sure, and what you are holding on to, where you need to nurture yourself more than others, things like that. So I feel you coming from feeling that this strength within you is growing. You're I just felt a male energy. This might just be for some of you. Michael is the name coming through too. That's very interesting. It doesn't always happen. So, but I feel like you coming in just with that male energy too might be you, of like, okay, it's like a little bit more of an action time. It's a little bit more of that kind of strength in the routine or something like that, that you've been kind of like having the last little while within you, or feeling that, okay, this now it's kind of time to dive into that. And then what comes up as the current energy is about being curious, getting curious. And the raven here is obviously beautiful. Symbol of that too, of being curious and having a curious mind of like, oh, what would happen if I say yes to this? Or when the universe come in with the synchronicity, or angel number, or something, even someone, or comes with an idea or a download. What would happen if I say yes to this right now? That's how you can kind of keep your curious mindset of like, oh, well, maybe this is a path for me that I'm meant to go down, or just look at, just be open to. It helps you to be open to just like, oh, yeah, maybe that's for me. And so that you don't, your first reaction is just like, no, this is not what I'm used to, or because this is what I feel too, like you're opening up to something different coming your way. So so this is about being curious and holding that open space for yourself to see what the universe is here to show you and to guide you through. And then I see you moving in to the space of the observer. It's very interesting. All pilots actually had some kind of introspective moving into, which doesn't surprise me, since Mercury stationed retrograde and we're still in Venus retrograde. So the observer here, what I feel for you is to, one thing that came through really strongly was actually to observe, because I saw these wings here too really strongly. And this is about to observe your possibilities. So this is to observe people that inspire you in all areas of your life. So whatever that is for you, look and kind of just observe, okay, how are they doing this, and what mindset do they have, and how are they creating their dream life, and how do they reach their goals and their dreams. That's just something that came through for right now for this card. Usually I look at the observer as really like distancing yourself, seeing if you can distance yourself emotionally to what's going on, and your own triggers as well. Because when we do, and when we don't go into them so much, which might be harder with the Cancer coming up, the Cancer moon, because it's a water sign, and that starts tomorrow. The moon moves into Cancer tomorrow, Saturday, but we'll be there for almost 3 days. So this is for you to see if you can just like distance yourself from your reaction, like catch yourself that, oh, I'm in a reaction, or it might just be a mood, like I'm in this. And then when you can look at that and see that, oh, okay, this is not all of who I am, but it's highlighting something. What was it that got triggered in me? Or why, what is it that if you don't feel in a great mood, what is it that's the core of that? Or what is it, again, what can change? How do you want to feel? What do you want to go into? What do you want to, sorry, I just had a Swedish word coming through instead of an English. What do you want to embrace and really more commit to, I feel, as well. So be the observer of yourself and your emotions and reactions, as well as I said, like moving that to who can you observe that inspire you, that that can help you see that, whoa, okay, this is how they create something. And even though I have an experience of something that's been the same maybe my whole life, you have the power to change that. We just have to go into our healing journey, go into the core. 12:22 right now here. Go into the core of what needs healing and what is actually holding you back. But start observing your own emotions as well as other inspiration. And then I pulled for you in this pile, I actually pulled 2 cards as an extra for what to focus on right now. And one is a new deck for me, so I'm just going to channel the card because I don't know what the card is about. The other one is transmute. So that's what we've been talking about since I felt that in the observer card as well, what you're moving into. And then this is the focus right now so that you can move into that more. It is exactly that, transmuting what is currently your reality into something that you really truly want and want to manifest and want to change. And also what I want to say here too, when we go into really breaking those limiting patterns at the core, then we open up to a whole new world, and it can feel really foreign, and that can be really scary, even though it's something that's really beautiful. But we have to hold ourselves just with compassion and with self-love through that. I believe that every and all healing is done with compassion for ourselves and our journey, and patience, because that is required too. And also then as you're moving into the new, that might feel a bit scary, as I said, even though you're actually moving into what you want to, because you haven't experienced it before. So it's a new foundation, it's something new for you. And then the this card from my new deck is She of the Lotus. The lotus for me too is really shining through, and you can see that even in her painting here, of like, what are you opening your crown chakra into, and how can you shine through even more? And as you see in this card, like, this is your focus, and that's the same as came through of the observer for you, is that your focus is more about observing and looking into the future and what you want to manifest. And then the healing and the transmutation, like what you're transmuting, will come via that. But for you, I feel like you focus more on your crown chakra and what you want to create, rather than your healing. And how this comes through for me is that what happens in all the manifestation work I do, or workshops, what happens when we first focus on, and this is what I want to create, and we can write lists and we can go into the feeling and really clarify for ourselves what we want to create, then that energy helps us then through the healing. It shows us, it highlights, okay, this here was actually holding you back from what you want to create. So that's for you, and for this group, I feel like focus on this first of what you want to create, focus on the inspiration, focus on that, so that you can establish more and be more in that energy, and also clarify that for yourself, because I feel like some of you might not quite know yet. It might just be a feeling, obviously, that you want to move from where you are and change some things from where you are. So focus on that and journal, write down, as I said, seek out that inspiration and all of that. I pulled a last card, a little bit more of mindset of what you maybe need to think about right now. And this is the brown bear. And the brown bear is all about integration. So I feel like this is a journey for you as you are looking into more and more of clarifying what you want to create. That requires integration too, in terms of just letting yourself catch up energetically. And because when you're in balance, then it's easier to go into doing whatever it is needs to be done. So focus on yourself and creating that space and balance for yourself while you are moving through all this, while you are figuring this out, and while you are landing in yourself and your intuition, because the universe is always here to help you with your soul purpose and what you want to manifest. But we need to create space and time for ourselves to have that space so that we can open up, just like the lotus is showing here too. And that's how I see, that's why I named my signature program, which I'm not running right now, but Soul Blossom, because this is like how we just unfold in ourselves. So taking the time for you to do that. Okay, let's see if there's any more messages coming through for you. Yeah, just that they're saying again, just the integration time. Create space for yourself, and not so much in the doing phase, but unless it's the doing phase of giving yourself inspiration and, you know, making an board or something, or writing down, journaling, whatever that is, when you see things that, oh, I like this, even if it's just like, oh, I like this, that energy is what you're following in your manifestation. That will lead you, always lead you further. That excitement or a little bit of like yumminess, that is what's always lead you, what always leads you to your soul path. That's your soul speaking. I believe that we're always meant to follow what lights us up in the moment, and then that can open up the step to the next step, or light up the next step. Okay, I feel like I'm repeating myself. So, oops, forgot to put my phone on. Do not disturb. Okay, so that was pile number 3. If this resonates with you or how you feel about that, I would love to hear that. Comment below, whether that is on YouTube or in my Facebook group, wherever you are. And also share if this is something that you feel like someone else around you needs to hear, or maybe just have their own divine guidance in these. Obviously, pick a pile so they can do that themselves as well. Please share. And also a reminder, some of you might have heard that I have my Heal and Glow course coming up. It's a new course that I'm doing, that I've been called to do now especially. So this might just be a one-time course. I'm not sure yet. It starts February 1st. And what we are going into, because I've been helping so many people these last month or two into ancestral healing and breaking limiting patterns, we are many of us that feel that it is time to step in even more so into our power, into our soul purpose, and finding out our gifts. So this 6-week program holds the ancestral healing to see what is limiting you, what is holding you back, what has held you back maybe repeatedly throughout your life. So we're going to go into that, go into yourself, your intuition, your knowledge that you always have within you. And then we're going to go into more of your soul purpose, how you can let that come out more, and doing manifestation practices and all of that too. All the energy behind how you manifest is what I'm going to teach you and hold space for you to go in through this journey with me, as well as gaining the tools so that you can do it on your own as well. So that starts February 1st. Check it out. I'll put it in the link in the comments for the video on YouTube. All right, that was it for this week. I intend to now do these every Friday if I can. I did one last Friday too, and that was a little bit more of the start of 2022. So look into that if you haven't and you feel like that might hold some more guidance for you. And other than that, subscribe so that you don't miss the next one. And yeah, that's it. Keep being magical, keep being you. Mwah. Much love.